You know what, guys? Speaking of personal preferences, did you hear what Disney's preference is now? Apparently, it's not with the trans movement. So, yeah, so Disney's kind of like backtracking because they're reading the tea leaves here. But this article came out in the Hollywood Reporter where it says Disney pulls transgender storyline from Pixar's Win or Lose streaming series. So this is a Pixar series for the Disney Plus streaming show. It's about a co-ed softball league. And it's basically the season leads up to their championship playoff game, and every episode kind of like focuses on a different character on the team. And one of those was supposed to be a transgender character, but apparently Disney has said that this is no longer happening. And basically, they say that when it comes to animated content for a younger audience, we recognize that many parents would prefer to discuss certain subjects with their children on their own terms and timeline. But the transgender character remains in the show, but the lines of dialogue that referenced the gender identity have been removed. A source close to Win or Lose said that the studio made the decision to alter course several months ago. Chances are it was right after Biden had his debate with Trump, but who knows? But anyway, this comes after like the track record of Pixar's Lightyear, including a same-gender relationship, and Kiss, which sparked a bunch of controversy, and then Disney Animation's Strange World, which featured an openly gay character as the lead of that movie. Both of those movies underperformed massively. And a lot of people at Disney and Pixar are a little bit upset about this because, you know, there's so many activists over there, but the bean counters and the CEO apparently sees that, like, you know, they're alienating their core family audience. They're getting too political. There's all this other stuff going on. And so this is the first time that I think Pixar in particular has been dinged about walking that stuff back. There was some talk about, what was it, Inside Out 2, where they removed like a little like gay storyline from that movie as well. But this one's making a big splash right now. So I want to throw this to Mr. Butters. Mr. Butters, what do you think about Disney walking back their support of the trans movement in their family fare?
Well, you know, apparently somebody in Disney's got a little bit of common sense in their head. Again, like I've said many, many times, when you cater to 2% of your audience, you're not going to make any money and nobody's going to watch your show. So maybe finally somebody there at Disney is figuring out that we need to make content for people who actually want to buy Disney Plus and watch our content. It's real simple. Don't make woke shit, you know, and you know, they made woke stuff here.
Yeah, it's not hard.
And they're trying to chop it up and make it not woke so they can actually get some eyeballs on it. I don't know. Nobody watches Disney Plus anymore. So they got to start doing something to get their audience back. Maybe
I watch Disney Plus for Hulu content.
Yeah,
I noticed that the other day. I was watching Disney Plus because Disney Plus is so much better at displaying Hulu content than Hulu is.
Yeah, I don't watch Disney products right now, really. There's nothing there I want to watch. So, you know, I have Disney Plus. I have the ad version, which drives me out of my mind. And I have it only because my wife insists on having it.
Use ad blocker, bro. It works.
She does it because she wants my grandkids to have it for some reason, which I don't know. I just get outvoted when it comes to that stuff.
I have the ad version and I use ad blocker and it works great.
All right. Well, that's cool.
Well, do you use it on your TV, Brian?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to do that on
Roku.
I
don't think. Yeah, you're probably right. On the TV, it's probably different. I watch my computer most of the time.
But no, you know, good for whoever at Disney made that decision. Maybe hopefully they start making it more and more of their products, because it would be nice if Disney somehow became the Disney that we had when we were kids again. I don't ever see that happening, but you know, because they're infected. They're just infected into a deep DNA level at that company with all this wokey bullshit. And
yeah, say Skeleton Key is pretty good.
It would be nice. No, it's not. It sucks. It's
not bad.
It sucks, Brian. Come on, don't give me your powder puff bullshit nonsense take.
I can be angry about everything, or I can enjoy.
I'm not angry about it. I just don't watch
popcorn
it's
nonsense. And I think it's not bad.
We're not having a Star Wars discussion about your Muppets and Space Show. Okay. But what I'm saying is, I'm glad somebody at Disney maybe has a little bit of common sense, but they've got a huge problem over there. And this is just one little
That's
one
true.
little sign that maybe somebody's got a little bit of sense and that they're coming around a little bit. So more
Well,
power to
Gabe,
them.
Gabe, what's your take on this? Because basically, Disney, in particular, Bob Iger, he's been very forward about Disney's for everyone, but in the wake of Trump's election and like all this, build up and animosity between the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, and the company, they've had to learn some hard lessons about reality and about the pushback that they're getting from their customers. So what's your take on this?
Well, yeah, I do think the gender stuff is a lot bigger of an issue and a problem for the left than they realized. And I think we put up with a lot of woke crap for years, but as soon as you want to start telling, you got to be very careful because it's YouTube. Telling stuff to kids, that's the line. That's the line for most reasonable people. Like, listen, I don't want them reading to kids in the library, and not because they're LGB, whatever. I don't want female strippers reading to kids in the library. You don't. It's YouTube. Be careful. You don't show young people this sort of content. You don't. Let them be kids. Let them run in the yard, pick up a rock, look at the bugs under the rock, look at rainbows, make cookies. Let them be children. Holy shit. Don't put this kind of material in front of kids. Don't start doing that. Sorry, I need a drink. But it is wise, I guess, or maybe they're armistice of Disney to say, we realize that parents want to get to their stuff on their own time frame with their kids. Like, yes, that's all we've been saying. We don't hate LGBTQ people or whatever, but don't talk to kids about this. What in the hell is your problem? Could you imagine if you were out at the park or on the city bus and someone started talking to your kid about these issues, like a stranger?
Kate, can I talk to you about trans rights?
Yeah, do you ever wonder, do you ever question your identity? It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
There's a reason my kids are in private school, bro, because I walked into their first grade class and their teacher had a trans pin and shaved head and blue hair tips. And I was like,
I saw a picture on Twitter, I think it was 2 days ago, about how a library canceled a read-along story time with this, I don't remember the name of it, but it was basically a person dressed in a purple monkey outfit, and he had a 12-inch long dildo hanging on and strapped around his waist.
I saw that in your story. That was in Britain. Like, yeah.
What the hell? Who sends their kids to that?
Who wants to show that to kids, right? Criminals. Right. These are criminals.
Who wants to show that to them? But what parents take their kids to something like that? Who takes their little kids to something parents. Like that? Idiots, just absolutely brain dead people. It's out of the crazy.
Brian, that reminds me of that great Babylon Bee tweet where it says parents are having second thoughts after Drag Queen Story Hour is renamed to Half Naked Men Want to Read to Your Children.
Yeah.
I remember that. I was dying.
What's this passion for reading? I saw like a joke comic strip online. It was like, why don't you read at the old folks home? Why don't you read at the cancer ward? Why don't you go read to other people who might need some comfort? Why is it kids?
It's always kids.
Why. You know why. You know exactly why.
Here's
middle-aged naked men dressed as women read your kids.
They don't have trans people reading stories at the retirement home because the boomers would just probably throw them out the highest balcony they could find.
They'd have World War II flashbacks and start firing.
Oh, that would just be
I fought for this country.
Yeah, but Brian, what's your take on Disney walking back their support? Because honestly, like Disney, they're supportive of these communities when it's convenient, but when it comes to like releasing these things in China and the Middle East and stuff like that, they're more than happy to censor that stuff out of those releases just to try to get that money. Yeah, and you being the biggest shareholder of Disney stock on the panel, and speak to this as an expert.
I am probably the biggest, and unless Gabe, is rocking like 800 shares of Disney. So I think that Disney is everyone thinks like this evil company. Now there are evil people inside Disney that are trying to push messaging over profit, right? But I think there's a lot of people that are also trying to push profit. And when they saw the wins, and case in point, China, they will literally be as racist as possible if it means a good release in China. They'll take black people off the cover. They'll cover their faces up with a mask. They'll literally shrink them because they're racist over there against those particular people. Here, I think they go, well, what's the wind? What's the social wind of change? What is the Twitter, blue sky, TikTok people saying? And I think they're trying to get free publicity, and they think that they'll win the next generation with these insane moves, and they're only going to piss off us older people. But then they learned Trump won the election with the popular vote, and more than 50% of the country is tired of wokenomics. And I think that their bottom line has to shift. So they're going to be changing their tune. Now, there are definitely evil people over there that are pushing a message, but I think there are more people over there that are just want to make money. Typical capitalism. And I think that they saw the wind of change, so they're going to be changing along with it.
Hey, whatever
even
it
if
takes.
it's whatever it takes.
One
Even if it's
thing-
a slow ship to change and slow ship to turn.
I think you're right that most people are just business, they're just working. But
Right.
one thing to keep in mind, if you read some communist literature, there's a concept that communists have called the slow march through the institutions. And what they intentionally do is over decades make sure that, hey, maybe we're outnumbered as commies, but I'm going to get the job as the librarian. I'm going to get the job as the manager that will approve this movie. And
It's in this
approve-
book.
Right. And yeah, exactly. It's the
Total
levers
War.
of power.
Read this. This is their manuscript.
What's
They've
say
been
the
doing this
name
since the
again,
50s.
please? What's the name?
It's called Soviet Total War.
Okay, this is what I'm talking about. Exactly. So
I read the book.
people that
It's
control the
insane.
levers of
And they
power-
started this in the 60s, and they've been doing it ever since. This is a Marxist thing for sure.
Brian,
Right.
will you please not show us your Soviet propaganda on,
Look,
on
it's
this
not-
channel?
You have to read it to understand it.
I get
I'm
it.
not reading it because I'm all about the Marxist. I read it so I understand what their play is, and I
Right.
think we're stupid not to understand that I'm referring to the larger they group. They've been planning this since the 60s when they started putting teachers into positions of power over your kids. Started in colleges, and now it's filtering down to elementary schools. The point is to indoctrinate the next generation of the next generation of the next generation until they can take over the entire Western Hemisphere without ever lifting a rifle or
So
firing a bullet.
I want to throw this to Odin real quick. Odin, do you think that this new direction for Disney will start translating to more of their adult fare? Like, will they start walking back a lot of this woke stuff from Marvel and Lucasfilm and all this other stuff, or do you think that this is just for the family audience?
Yeah, it's hard to say at this point because we just haven't seen a lot of evidence in other places. I think the one thing maybe we've seen is there seems to have been indication that the MCU would be trying to maybe not, push as many things. But, there's still so many films that are in the pipe. There's still so many projects that were delayed, whether it be COVID or whether it be the strikes, that might have some of these elements still in there. So it's good to see this at the very least in regards to their family content, that this stuff is kind of going away. Because clearly they've lost that specific battle. But at the overall battle at large, when it comes to the more adult branded things, it's really hard to see at this point. So we'll know a lot more. I think one of the big tests is going to be obviously the next Captain America movie, because they clearly wanted that film to be something, and it has now gone through so many reshoots and test screening, like reported test screenings and things like that. So we'll see what the final product actually is.
They've made the movie 4 times now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously.